Hello and welcome to the latest episode of the Mywatchkaki podcast with Nick, Denson and WK. Today we are really excited to launch our new series called Under the Loupe, where we connect with collectors, enthusiasts and people within the watch industry. Our first guest is not only a collector, but he's someone that's turned his passion into his career. We would like to formally welcome Marshall, or Marsh_Kai_ on Instagram. Welcome.
Hello everyone. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming, man.
Long time coming. Happy to be here. Okay.
Too long, sorry.
So how do we start this? We want to get a quick snapshot of not where you are now, but how you got here. And I think that you were on another podcast. I think the My Watches podcast, where you had talked about some of that. So maybe we can just sort of skim
sure,
that
no
part
problem.
because it's already out there. And then if there's anything that strikes us as like, I want to know more about that, we might be rude and interrupt you and ask
I'm happy to
questions.
do that.
Cool.
Like perhaps like maybe the very beginning of how this obsession, this problem started.
Problem.
I think it was around like 2012, 2013. I think I just turned 18. And my mom was telling me like, it's probably time for you to get a proper watch. Up until that point, I only had like a simple digital watch. I don't even remember the brand. I think it's like QQ or something.
The
One of those.
Citizen.
Kinky.
Yeah.
QOQ, yeah.
QQ.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a cheap. Yeah, it's one of those watches, right? And she said like, well, okay, now you're a young adult. It's time to get something a little bit more serious.
Respectable.
Yeah, absolutely. So I remember I was traveling in Taiwan, visiting some family, and then I think down the hotel that we were staying at, there was a mom and pop kind of watch store, right? And they carried Seiko, Citizen, and a bunch of other fashion watches, Titus and whatnot. And I remembered like, because I was traveling with one of my cousins, and then he was wearing like a DKNY watch. And I was like, I think I want one of those. Blue dial, and it just looks like a really simple dress watch, right? And it's nothing too fancy. It just looked nice, right? And then I went into the store. I was like, Mom, where's this DKNY watch? I want one right now.
This shop is shit.
Yeah, and then
No
she said,
DKNY.
I mean, they did have a couple, but they didn't really stood out to me or anything like that. But my mom said like, just get something a little, something branded, right? For example, like get a proper Seiko or Citizen. Yeah. And I was like, okay, sure. Because she was the one paying. Yeah, she was the one paying for it, right? So I can't really say much.
Right.
Should have went straight for the Rolex.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I should have. But never mind. So I was just looking around the store, and then I stumbled upon this watch right here. This is the Citizen Eco Drive. Again, I still remember the reference. It's like AW101855E or something. There's actually a name for it right now. I believe it's for the American market. It's called a Chandler. I don't know why, but Chandler from Friends. Yeah, and it's honestly, it's just, I don't know.
Did you make the right choice looking back 12 years?
I'm not sure actually. Yeah.
I can't hear you, Denson.
Too soft.
Yeah.
Too soft.
I can't hear.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. It's recording for sure.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if it was actually the right choice. It just felt like it was the most modern looking thing I could find in that store, right? And
Sorry, I pressed the wrong option. But I'm recording.
Okay.
Sorry,
Now
sorry,
I can hear you.
it's okay, it's on brand, right? Yeah, so I just picked this out, and then I wore it for like a good two years, I think.
Would you still wear it now?
No, it's just too big. It's 43, and
43.
and it's apparently it has a defective crown. I never noticed that. But it's just one of those.
But
It's
you
my
can never
favorite.
sell it. It's your first watch.
Yeah, I can't bring myself to sell it. No, so it just means a lot to me. Without this, I wouldn't have any of this here today, right? So it meant a lot to me. 2 years wearing this.
And it still looks brand new.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yes,
right?
move on.
It has, yeah. So it's just there, It sits in my watch box, and I don't really, again, I don't wear it anymore. it's just a good timely reminder that, you know, all of this came from this one watch, right? So I have my mom to thank for as well.
Thanks, Mom.
Thanks, Mom.
What does your mum think about this new obsession then that she started?
Has she seen this before?
Does she even know?
Shit, I hope she doesn't watch this. No, I mean, yeah, she's aware. She's aware for a lot of reasons we'll get into later. Because obviously she's followed my career closely as well, right? So when the change happened, she kind of knew that I was already dipping my toes into this world, into this particular thing, right? So yeah, she's aware of the problem.
I think to let viewers know what is this change in career, because obviously we are your friends, we know what the change of career is, but to let the viewers know what is this change of career. Yeah,
so I practiced law for a couple of years, and then eventually decided to go for something that I felt like, you know, is the right thing to do at the time. I practiced, I did litigation, I did corporate merger acquisitions, whatnot, but just didn't feel like it was the world that I want to be, you know, involved in for too long. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. It's a great career for people who want to become like professional, but you know, for me, I just want something a little bit more exciting. I want something a little bit more creative, and I felt like that at that time, that world wasn't giving me any of the kick that I'm getting right now, you know. So I thought, okay, when I felt like it was time to make a change, I called up my friend Dietrich, who was, you know, the proprietor of this brand, and he gave me a sort of a quick start into like, okay, there's a position right now, I want you to fill it, and then so it's just the both of us. We went off to the races, you know. So we went on to make our own watches, and yeah, so that was pretty much the.
What was your first position?
There wasn't really like an official title. It was just like, oh yeah, assistant. But I did almost everything. I did the marketing, I did PR, I did like a bit of design work as well. I provided a concept for the first watch we did together, which is this Skin Diver one, SD1, which we can get into in a bit. Yeah. Do you guys want to talk about other, like, is there like a certain thing that you want to get into first?
No, I mean, we just chat wherever the conversation takes us.
Sure, yeah, I'm completely down for that, yeah.
Specifically, that move from being a lawyer to Dietrich, it must not have been an easy decision because
definitely
you know, you studied law, you got called to the bar, you invested all that time and money into law.
Yeah, especially more for my parents, I think. There was a lot
What was that like?
There was a lot of sacrifice for sure. It wasn't like a smooth journey as well for me. I know some people, they like, oh yeah, you passed the exams on the first try. I didn't get that. You know, I was dealing with a lot back then.
I didn't pass at all.
So it was a hard fought. I mean, like the bar school, right? Qualification to qualify as a barrister. Yeah. It was hard fought for sure. I gave up a lot. My parents gave up a lot for me as well. But yeah, because at that time it felt like this was the only thing I'm living for right now. I just want to pass the goddamn bar, right?
Holy shit.
Yeah, so I just gave up.
In deep. Yeah?
I was in deep, yeah. It wasn't like I loved. I don't mind. You know, I liked being. I like attending classes and whatnot. You know, you get involved with like advocacy and whatnot. But I think in theory and in practice, it's two completely different worlds, right? And it was a very difficult transition because you have to think about like this decision is not just me, right? It's something to do with my parents as well.
And your family eventually.
Yeah. But then again, I always thought to myself, if I didn't do this right now, I probably would end up resenting my parents, which I don't want that. You know, I love them dearly. So I told myself like this is the only time that I can make a choice for myself, you know. So
having a law degree is not a bad thing, though.
No, not at all. So that's what I realized after that. Like, hey, a lot of skills are actually transferable.
And it's one of those careers where you can go here, there, everywhere.
Yeah.
And still.
Yeah. So you know what's funny? Like they tend to tell you that when you enroll for law school, and then when you qualify, and then when you want to leave, they're like, "Oh, it's such a waste." I'm like, "But didn't you tell me like I could move anywhere I want to with this degree?" You know. So
and it's always going to be there.
Yeah.
Like if one day you decide, okay, I've done.
Yeah, you can.
Done
Yeah,
this,
you can go back. You know, but I don't know if I want to get back into that world. I probably will be back in a different form, like maybe not as a lawyer. I don't know. juries throughout for me.
What made you, like, you've gone from law, which is very corporate, to all of a sudden now getting into more creativity, marketing?
Yeah.
Like, did you study marketing in law, and that sort of, you thought, wow, this is cool? Or
not at all. How do I even put this? I think when I was studying, when I was reading law, I was just really involved with, like, people were going for like law conferences. I was going to watch events. So I kind of knew people in the industry, right? I spent my weekends studying, and then after I finished studying, I'll go for Red Bar, in the evening.
Yep.
I'll go for like watch exhibitions, and people were just going out for drinks. I was just attending watch events,
Was this back in UK? Or?
Yeah, back in the UK, yeah. And also, like, because I did a year in Oxford Brookes. There was nothing to do in Oxford, so I literally spent my time just researching watches. And when I got to London for my bar, it was pretty much the place to be, when it comes to watches. You meet so many, like that's where all the designers and CEOs all gather, right? And that was amazing. So I felt like I needed to take advantage of this opportunity. So that's what I did. I spent most of the time just deep diving into this crazy and insane world, just mingling with collectors from all walks of life. And that itself, I think it gave me a sense of, like, a certain sensibility when it comes to marketing and PR. And I kind of knew what collectors are going for, what collectors are, what they look for in a watch, and their approaches in general. So I had an idea going into, this venture with Dietrich.
How long were you with Dietrich?
I was with Dietrich for a year and a half. It was a contract basis, right? So I finished. So this was the first one I made with Dietrich, and then we made like a second generation, and then it kind of just stopped from there because I think there were some difficulties on the production end as well, and financially, the brand wasn't doing too well. So we just like, okay, the whole point of this was like, it was a contract, right? It's okay. We'll just like we'll move on to other things, and then I moved on to working. I mean, I'm still a freelance, but one of my biggest contracts, one of the people that I work with right now, it's S.song watches. So I don't know if you know this, is like I was on the collector side, and then I went on to manufacturing. Now I'm with the dealer, So it's like, it's kind of full circle in a way.
So there's a strategy here.
I guess you can call it strategy.
Domination.
I guess. I don't know. For me, it's just like, that's great. I can see things from all different perspectives.
I love that. I love that. It's nice to be able to, like, not just look at watches as users, but beyond that as well.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. When I was with Dietrich, I came in with a pair of through the eyes of a collector. Right? I was expecting, like, okay, this thing I want to be done this certain way, and I want it to be priced at a certain bracket. And then I realized, I learned the hard way that it wasn't actually. It's not possible, because there are a lot of things that you have to take into consideration, especially from the manufacturing end, right? There's just some technical limitations to some of the design choices that we made. Like, for example, this came with a bracelet that we fully engineered on our own. We designed the bracelet from the ground up. This wasn't like a cookie cutter. As you notice, it had like hexagonal links. So this bracelet was expensive to make. And unfortunately, it was around a time where they had the power rationing policies, I think, in Shenzhen or something, Hong Kong. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, so I wasn't sure, like, how were we gonna make a second generation bracelet for the second watch, right? The SD2. Unfortunately, we had to only offer it on the rubber strap, and then we had to price it up a little bit higher as well, because of manufacturing constraints. But collectors were all making noise. They're like, wow, this is really expensive for what it is, and why can't you give us a bracelet and all? But for me, now being in this industry, I've kind of understood, like, I have a bit more empathy towards brands now, because especially micro brands, like the challenges you go through, it's not as simple as making a conscious choice of like, I want to include this and then price it at a certain bracket, right? It's not possible. So if you look at the spec sheet that we did for this, our margins weren't very high either. We priced it very competitively. This was like, I think a slightly over $1,000 for this, and everything was like, we did everything from the ground up. There was no cookie cutter elements to it, right? And I can tell you, it does not look like anything, any other brands or any other models you see.
That's cool.
Yeah, so this was completely original, and I'm really proud of this one.
So you're a part basically everything full circle, from the finance, the business operations,
Yeah.
the design,
Yeah.
manufacture.
Yeah, obviously
So-
I don't call the shots, but I was involved in almost every decision making.
Okay.
But you were still here, right? in
I was doing
Malaysia?
it, yeah. So that's
So-
another challenge. That was during COVID, right? So it's crazy to do everything like offsite.
Is the brand still alive now?
The brand is hibernating, but I'm not sure if I could tell you this, but he's coming out with something again this year. I'm not privy to that project, but I've seen renders, I've seen prototypes, and I might get a prototype in soon to share. But yeah, he's still running it, but again, it's like a one-man company, right? So I guess it's nimble in that sense, right? This is not his main line of work anymore. He's a designer by trade. He designs furniture. Apparently he sculpts as well. He does sculpture,
Right.
So he's an artist at heart, right?
What was the total volume per year in terms of number of watches that you guys produced?
It was very limited because we made 3 versions of this. This is the first one that we made, and then we launched a black one, and then subsequently a green one. I think it was in collaboration with a Singaporean retailer, Gnomon. I believe there's 150 pieces for each variation.
Right.
Yeah, and then the first gen sold out really quickly.
So less than 500.
Less than 500, yeah. And there's already well below MOQ.
Yeah.
We had to negotiate quite aggressively. That's why.
What would be your advice to anybody who wants to start a micro brand?
You want to start a micro brand? I don't think you should be asking me this, but at the same time, I do think that it's important to go out there and look at as many brands as possible. Because what I noticed, a lot of micro brands these days don't have original ideas. Yeah, and I'm not going to name any one of them, but I've seen a lot. I mean, I'm sure we all saw a lot of really, really good brands, micro brands, Autodromo, all these brands, they're all really original. But for people who want to start their own right now, go out there and try to experience as many watches as possible, micro brands, and also try to familiarize yourself with the manufacturing end of things, right?
I can sense something here.
What's up?
Is a new micro brand going to be opening soon?
Nah, I don't think it's what I want to do. Micro brands are. I mean, they're
usually
fun.
what they say before they launch.
Oh shit! Damn it! Yeah, you foiled my plan. But nah, it's one thing to create your own brand, but another thing is to stick. I'm too much of a hoarder. I enjoy getting into other brands.
Okay.
I find it difficult to stick to one brand. So that's one of the biggest hurdles for me.
You guys can be BFF. Yeah, you guys can be BFF.
Yeah.
These two guys can be quite single brand if they want to be.
I mean, Nick's getting Rolex and whatnot, right? He's branching out. He's
I'm
branching
branching
out.
out
Not
a
on the
bit.
podcast. Shh, not on the podcast.
Damn it. Sorry, Cartier. But yeah. So go out there, experience as much as possible. You need to talk to people in the industry.
But do you think here in Malaysia you can do that?
No, go to Singapore.
Yeah, okay.
Go to Singapore.
Why? Why Singapore? Why not here?
I think first of all, it's definitely the concentration of the kind of people that reside in Singapore who are very connected when it comes to watches, right?
Right.
Malaysia is a great place to chill. No, I don't think it's conducive for getting ideas.
Yeah, does it show?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know. It's just one of those. It's like an intuition kind of thing,
Yeah.
And in fact, most of my connections that I made back then, that got me here today, they were made in London and in other countries, right? And I don't know why. Maybe perhaps it's a cultural thing. I have not found the answer to that. But the crazy thing about this is we found each other in that sense. There's something. We're onto something here, right? We're onto something here. I just don't know if this is the best place to get inspiration from a micro brand. Again, you just have to go out there and see as much as possible. You gotta broaden up your horizons, because a lot of micro brands they take cookie cutter designs, and it's so unoriginal, it's so uninspiring. So I think it's one thing to have good resources like factories and whatnot, but it's also another thing to have a fully original design. It's so important, man, especially in today's landscape, right?
And even if you have something fully original, doesn't mean you can execute.
Correct.
Unless you have the
Right
manufacturing
people.
and sorted out.
Another reason why I say Singapore is great, because most of the micro brands are from there.
Yeah.
Even
many.
if you don't find any good inspiration from these guys, you learn a thing or two from them, you know.
Yeah,
and I know some people, like for example, Boulder Watchers. I've known the guy for a long time. I think almost a decade already. And I followed him during his like Kickstarter days. And I visited him like I think last year.
And then the guy who left Travis, right?
He ran out RZE, yeah. You see them.
And then there's Vario.
Vario.
So many.
Arcturus. You know. These guys are Singaporeans, man. Yeah. And it's amazing.
Some of them are Malaysian, actually.
Yeah. Leon is Malaysian from Boulder. He was from Pahang, I think.
Yeah.
And he went there and then became
Travis also Malaysian.
Yeah. So you see, like, there's a reason why people go. I think it's also like, in terms of exposure, again, you know, people just have a certain sensibility when it comes to things like this.
It's all the connective tissue, you know, the people you meet, the people you hang out with, and all that.
Yeah. And it's the environment. It's more conducive to start something like that, I think, in Singapore. Again, I wouldn't say Malaysia is bad. It's just that there's no trailblazer or anything yet, you know. It's just,
but you have people like Ming.
Yeah.
Right?
Ming is a bit of outlier.
Yeah.
And he's really crafted a path for himself. So he's a bit of an unusual phenomenon, I would say.
Anomaly.
So, and also, again, if you look at his origin story, he knew Jack Foster from way before.
Right.
So he kind of had a bit of that connection with the outside, you know, people outside Malaysia. Yeah. You had that link, right? And you developed ideas.
He had a link with Schwartz Etienne as well.
Right? Yeah, absolutely. So
So how did you go from working for Dietrich to being a wrist model for Sean?
I knew
wrist
Sean.
Model.
That's a very nice way to phrase it.
There's something in between though, right? There's Matick.
Matick is like maybe we can talk about that first. Matick was like a bit of a platform for me when I was in uni. It was it's not meant to be anything serious, honestly. It was just like, I was bored. What the hell am I going to do in Oxford, right? I have a Samsung S4 that take good photos, and I'm just like, okay. Started taking pictures of watches, and I had Amazon Prime back then, so I was like, oh, there's a lot of Seikos that I want to get into them, right? And then you kind of just like get sucked into the whole the black hole, like, oh, Amazon Prime. The next day you get your watch, right? Then again, I'm still close friends with these guys, right? These guys, they're the original members of the Matick blog, Team Matick. They've moved on to do their own things. We're still great friends, but back then we were just like bored, you know. What the hell are we gonna do in a student village, right? We're just
all of you were in the same place.
Yeah. We were there, and then we just had time during the evenings when we are not studying, and then we were like, I was also around the time where Talking Watches first launched. Talking Watches with John May, and I just loved the concept. I felt like this is such an interesting way to talk to people, you know. And then what we did was we just like, I wanted to have this space where I can have conversations with people, not necessarily from a certain place, but from all walks of life, other different countries. So we one of the first things that we did with the blog was we had this segment called Wrist Talk. It's basically talking watches in like word format, because podcasts or videos were not like a thing back then for us, you know. And then we did like I think 50 or 60 episodes talking to just people from all around the world.
Wow.
Some of them I think you guys know, like Christian from Theron Harris was one of our and some OGs, you know, like OG collectors.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. This was.
How did you get these guys?
Just it was IG, right? So Instagram didn't have the algorithm back then. So it was quite easy to just like chat up these guys, and then everyone was just like very excited to share, because the platform was so new back then, right?
Right.
And then you have people like Watch Anish started to share like, you know, wrist shots with bracelets. So it's like an aesthetic kind of thing, you know. And it's such an interesting way to express your personality, right? And these guys were like, I have a collection. I would love to talk about it as well. Okay. And as you guys know, Talking Watches, right? They had like John May was the first guest, and then you have JJ Redick, all these massive personalities. What about the guys like us, you know, like it's nice to have a voice as well, right?
Yeah.
So
welcome to the pod.
Benson has a massive personality.
Well, you should ask Hodinki to come, and maybe Hodinki can do a set here, you know.
We'll give Ben a call.
This is the only reason why we have Nick here.
But you know, so it was a platform for me to talk to people, you know, talk to all sorts of collectors. Yeah.
So, you got this. I was gonna say, so Matick's no longer.
It's still there, but I think my guys were all like we have different priorities in life right now. Because we were much younger back then. We had a lot more free time.
You're still young, bro. Seriously.
Is 41 young? I don't know.
You're young.
I'm not sure. But yeah, you know, our priorities are different. Matick is still there. I just don't post as much. But when I do find something interesting, I will still go back to it. You know, it's just never. It was never like, oh yeah, I'm gonna turn Matick into the next holding key. It was nothing like that. You know, it was just a platform for me to talk to people, pen my thoughts. You know, that's about it. Yeah.
That was what, Casey?
With Casey,
John?
Vincent, and John. Yeah.
Right. 4 of you.
Yeah. So originally we had 3 different other members who then left, and then Casey, John, and Vincent came on.
All right. Okay.
So we're just like, yeah, sure, you know, let's have fun, which we did. We did some collaboration pieces with microbrands as well.
Is that hard to do? How do you go about that?
You gotta know people.
Okay.
Yeah. Nodus was a bit of an exception. Nodus watches, they're based in LA, I think. Yeah. So
they do a ton of collabs.
Yeah, we were one of the first ones. So that sort of kickstarted the whole movement for them.
Right.
And these guys were like, they're around my age, right? So easy to click with them. When it came to Malaysia, we just went for we just went to shoot the shit, drank beers and shit, and then we that's.
Oh, they came here.
Yeah, they came to visit, and then it wasn't like a difficult process. I think it's important to have a compelling idea, a compelling concept. I'm not saying our collaboration piece was groundbreaking or anything. It just felt original in terms of aesthetics, right? So this was the Avalon. We call it the Matick. It was massive, but for me, I don't wear it as much. But it sits well on the wrist. It's 43. It has a gilt dial. There are several variants, I think. There was a stainless steel variant. This is a ceramic bezel. There was a very interesting story behind this one. I'll tell you in a bit. So what happened is Casey bought a Nodus Contrail years ago, right? And then I think it got stolen, and then the watch actually appeared on Carousel.
Oh.
Yeah, and then all of us were like, the entire, our entire circle of friends were like, dude, let's go get this guy. Let's strike a deal and go corner him or something.
But he may not have been the thief, though.
That's the thing, And then he contacted the police, and nothing was done. There was nothing fruitful from that investigation. So the entire community got together behind his back and decided to get him another one.
Wow.
And we didn't get him a Contrail, we got him an Avalon, a green dial,
right?
Green bezel. And then at the back, on the case back of the watch, we engraved "Lose your virginity, not your watch." And then we got it for him, and then we surprised him and delivered it to him, and he was just completely, he was just over the moon, right? And then when he came down to KL, because he was based in Penang, he showed me the watch, and I was like, wow, this thing actually sits pretty well on the wrist, right?
Right.
And this was when I was still into the large 42, 43s.
Right.
And then we reached out to Wes from Nodus, Wes and Cullen, and then we're like, any chance we could do something unique, And then we just, went. It took off from there. The conversation just took off from there, and we just came up with a few concepts, and then
Is there some kind of criteria, like you have to be able to commit to X number of sales, or if you are a club or a blog or something, you need to have certain amount of viewership?
Generally, that's the first thing you have to think about, right? But with Nodus, it's a bit different. They've had a long-standing partnership with one of the factories that they work with. So it was quite easy for them to be like, hey, I just want 30 pieces. Sure.
Seriously?
Yeah. And they're just so accommodating. Like, these guys are really good. They're really good when it comes to beating the MOQ.
Right.
I think they've manufactured so much that the factory was like, yeah, sure. Do whatever how you want, right?
But they have some nice collaborations with like Matt Farah and all that.
Yeah, those are cool.
Yeah.
Super cool.
I mean, Matt Farah is huge in the US, right?
Yeah.
And so they collab with entities big and smaller.
Yeah. That's one thing I like about these guys as well. They collaborate with entities, people, individuals who are somewhat similar to them in that sense, in a certain way. Like they share the same goal, and it's not like, oh, this is a business move. Of course, it is a business move to have collaboration pieces to sell out. Yeah. But I think the message behind it is just as important, And so that was pretty much it. We did 2 with them. We did this one. And then this was 30 pieces. This is number 1. There's another one that I did not bring today. That project was spearheaded by Casey. It was a pilot. That one we make 69 pieces for obvious reasons. That was
Sorry,
cool.
what's the reason?
We are very ignorant.
Yeah, I mean, like,
it was a nice number, no?
yeah, okay.
We're so innocent.
It's good symmetry, like
Yeah, it's like
upside down.
Yeah, in fact, Dietrich had a logo that looked like a 60. He was born in the year of 69. People were like, "What are you trying to? What are you suggesting?"
Channeling.
No. It's just my birth year. Yeah.
So what's the reason that you guys didn't bring Matick to the next step?
I think it's a lot of factors, and
It's already halfway there. I saw you guys were invited for.
we are very involved with Omega, Bell and Ross.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, we're still as involved. We get to go to all these events and just chat with people. We take part in activations as well.
Okay.
But again, looking back, I just felt like we didn't have a very clear direction of where this was going to go. And also, it was a time and place kind of thing. I started the Matick blog when I was studying. So I don't know if this was going to be like a sustainable route. I just felt like, I just want to have fun. I don't want to take this too seriously and then see where it goes. I think in hindsight, it's a good thing because it's not the most profitable business model, I would say, when it comes to starting your own watch media company. You're not Hodinki, we're different. So
I mean, Hodinki didn't become a success overnight.
Yeah, for sure.
Really, really.
I was trying to be honest. I actually reached out to Ben many times, and he responded, but never really amounted to anything.
Yeah. You don't have a beard and a cardigan.
I guess so. Yeah. Shit. Damn it.
And a Porsche.
Yeah, and a Porsche. Damn it. But yeah, it's just again for me, it's a passion project, and I'm trying to be really realistic about it. And also, you need to have the right people. My guys were like, I'm not saying they're wrong. They're not the right people. They just have different priorities in life. Nothing wrong with that. And I had the same thing as well. So at one point, I was the only one writing, and it was really tiring. Yeah.
Especially when you start at that age. Everybody has a bit of time, and then you do this, it's fun.
Yeah.
But then after that, you've got to do some serious shit, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So it never really took off in that sense. I mean, it did, and I'm glad that it took off the way it did. It wasn't like anything massive.
Do you think that contributed to you deciding to leave the law career?
I would say a small part of it did, because I had like, call it whatever you want, but for me it's experience, right? I have a bit of experience doing this. I kind of had an idea of like what I could contribute, what I bring to the table for a watch brand, especially a small brand like Dietrich back then, right? So I had that perspective, and it gave me a bit of confidence to just like, okay, I'm gonna do this now. So
self-belief.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you bet on yourself.
Yeah.
So
okay, and then what else is in between that and S.song?
So I met Sean back in 2016. It was Watches of Switzerland event in London. I think it's Regent Street, right? Met him. We just kept in touch over the years. We met up for drinks, and sometimes I will refer clients to him, and then he will make some sales. And at one point, he reached out to me and said, "Hey, I kind of need some help." I was like, "Yeah, sure, but I'm with Dietrich right now. Let me sort out some stuff." So it came to me. His offer came to me when I was with Dietrich, and then it took a while for the whole thing to just fall into place because he had been working alone for quite a number of years. He started in 2017, I think. Yeah. So for him, it's like, I need to get all these. I need to get the office done properly, and I need to set up systems or emails and whatnot. It took a while, and then at one point I was doing for Dietrich and doing for Sean as well. So it was like, I'm having like, it's quite interesting. You have two different perspectives of this industry. So that's how it took off. I started with him, I think 2022, late 2022.
Oh, it took a while.
Yeah.
From the initial contact to...
Yeah, it was like 5-6 months, Yeah, but I wasn't concerned because I already had Dietrich. I had my hands full.
Yep.
And I think the timing was kind of good as well because I just finished the second project with Dietrich.
Right.
And I was like, okay, if there's nothing for me to do, I'm just gonna move on to Sean's work, right? So yeah, so that's what actually happened.
So what are you doing now?
Everyone asks me the same thing, and I don't know how to answer them. I do a lot of behind the scenes kind of work, right? So photography, technical descriptions, which involves a lot of research, a lot of writing. That's where the legal research skills come in, and my experience with writing at the Matick blog comes in as well.
That is very good.
Yeah. So
I like reading them.
Thank you. I'm glad you do, because sometimes I wonder, like, who the hell reads this?
That's good.
They're gonna buy it.
Not me.
I see.
But at least I appreciate his photography.
Damn it, Denson.
Yeah, I read. I
That's good to know.
Like Hairspring, and I love that account.
Oh, it's they're
long
amazing.
form copy I like, but
yeah.
I think it shows.
Yeah. So I mean, that's where I spend most of my time.
But your style is so, like, if I read it and it's not associated with the website, or even if I see a picture, I know it's.
That's great. That's great to know. Yeah.
You can tell.
So do you write everything, or does Sean
does
some writing as well?
So he's written for a lot of his previous listings over the years. So a lot of those, I did some of the watches that came in. They're identical or similar references. I would just reference it, but most of the new independents that come in, sometimes we don't have a watch like that on the site before. I have to do everything from scratch. Yeah, but it's all good.
And it's usually written in the first person, which I like.
Yeah, it's like,
so you get to a feeling that
I'm telling you about this.
He is the curator,
correct.
and he is the one selling it now.
That's the whole point, right?
Yeah.
Because you have to connect to people over this screen, and they don't get to actually experience the product in person, right? So you have to connect in that sense. That's how important I felt like, copywriting or marketing material. You have to make it as if you're actually speaking with a person in first person, right? So it makes you feel like, oh, I'm having this conversation with this guy, So that's where that's my starting point. That's my style, and I'm very comfortable writing like that, right? Yeah.
So the big question for me is, like, you see all these amazing watches from S.song. I think it's no secret that S.song has amazing inventory. You see all this incredible stuff. How do you deal with the fact that you can't have all of them because
you get desensitized? Or?
To be fair, I'm jaded. I'm super jaded.
Oh, no.
I've seen a lot of pieces. I've tried a lot of pieces. The other day there was a. I mean, don't get me wrong. I still get really enthusiastic about some really rare stuff.
Yep.
Like we had a Patek Calatrava 2526 enamel dial. Like, oh my goodness, this is a simple watch, but my gosh, I was so excited to see it.
Right.
Yeah. So I realized that. I think I made peace with it. To me, all these are just superficial items, right? We don't need them. I'm more concerned about the memories I make with them, the friends I make with them. Mm-hmm. As much as I enjoy them, I'm not going to carry them with me when I go. When we leave eventually, we leave this world. Yeah. So I've made peace with it. Like, I'm just going to enjoy what I have. Even if I want something, I just know that, if it's meant to happen, it will happen. I don't really think too much about it. I know some. Yeah.
To be honest, you've probably experienced more watches than we have in this table.
Maybe, perhaps that is the case. Perhaps that's the case.
I think you guys are very similar in this case. It's like for like past 10 recordings, WK is always on watches. He can move on the watches. It's the memories.
I like his approach. Yeah. I actually admire your approach. It's like, you can pick it up and let it go. Put it down eventually. So that's how it should be. I feel for watches, because again, materialistic things, right? And there's just so much to experience. And sometimes you have to let go of certain pieces to experience new pieces.
Have to, because your budget is not unlimited. Right?
Absolutely. It's a journey. For me, it's always a journey. There was never like, I don't believe in grail. I really do not believe in grail pieces, because there's always the next thing, right?
Sometimes I don't know how dealers like Sean does it. Like, you can see so many nice watches coming in.
I'm sure he's jaded as well. But he has his own, like me, like we both have a similar sensibility when it comes to collecting. He knows what he likes. I know what I like. And it doesn't necessarily have to be the most expensive. Yep. Like I got so much enjoyment out of this simple tank, right? It's a quartz. But my God, I love this thing to death, because it represents so much to me. It doesn't have to be the most expensive thing. No. Yeah. So
I can't wait to get to that. Because
we can get into this. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So with S.song, has it changed your trajectory in terms of like what you think about as your next piece? You know, I know that you say that you are jaded and you've got a very distinct style and the kind of watches that you like anyway.
Yeah.
But there must be some rub off and there must be some...
For sure. I think one thing working with Sean has taught me is quality is such an important factor when it comes to, like, when you buy vintage. I'm so much more... I scrutinize vintage pieces a lot more now when I buy. And it's something that he taught me. I think that's a habit of his. I mean, for sure, you're a dealer. You have to scrutinize every single piece that you bring in. And it sort of, I got pretty serious with it. You know, I'm very, very particular. It has to be a certain kind of condition, certain kind of look, or those kind of stuff, right? But in terms of my collecting trajectory, it hasn't really changed. I just know that I think I'm meant for classical pieces, right? Like, look at me. I started off with all these crazy sizes. Eventually, I went down to like 35, 36. 35, 36. 36 is my sweet spot. You know, look at the sizes. You can see the change, the transition in the sizes, right?
We'll see you in 32 in 6 months' time.
It's been like that for a year and a half, so I think I'm going to be okay with this.
He's rocking a tank now. So.
I will wear this tank and then people are like, why are you wearing a lady's watch? I'm like, bro, you don't know. That's an exception, though. That one has a really interesting story. We'll talk about that as well. Yeah.
Yes.
So,
he's distracted.
Yeah, I mean, like whenever I
was gonna ask. So obviously your watch career journey's gone from all over.
Yeah.
But what is your end goal? If you can tell us, if you know.
End goal.
What's your plan?
My plan. I try not to have a plan. Yeah. I don't like to be limited by things like that. But I mean, for sure, 5-6 years, I need to know where I'm heading. I'm happy now where I'm at because I felt like there's just so much to learn, you know. And I think, just like my experience with legal practice, whatever that I'm doing right now, it's teaching me something, skills, right? The professional skills, like photography. I never touched a proper camera like this before, right? And now I know how to set up. I know how to take a good wrist shot, you know. Yeah. I know that you should always like cover up your skin on the top to, you know, have like a cuff to make it look good, you know, stuff like that, right? So I felt like that sort of, I'm starting to develop that sort of sensibility when it comes to aesthetics, right? And technical knowledge is so important as well. I'm starting to try to shoot video. Godammer and these guys, they're amazing. So I'm trying to learn from these guys as well. So for me, it's an ongoing process. I will not restrict myself to anything right now. I just know that I need to get really good at this for now. I'm giving myself like 2-3 years to do this to the highest level. So that's my plan for now. I'm just gonna keep at it until I get really good.
I'm really jealous.
Yeah. So what's...
I'm jealous to be able to...
It sounds fun, right?
It's like turning a hobby into a career and something you can...
I mean, it has its own
living
downsides for sure, you know, especially when you have your own, like, when you make your hobby, your passion, a job, it can get really tiring. Right? So it's just one of those things that I have to live with.
Do you like subconsciously judge a watch which is consigned? Like you say, you scrutinize the quality of the vintage pieces.
Yeah.
And if there's like a guy who wants to consign, let's say, a vintage watch, is there like, you know you're going to sell it for him, but the condition isn't just up to your standard?
Yeah, then we say no.
You say no to that?
Honestly, yeah, because condition is paramount. And it doesn't look good in photos because with the kind of photography we're doing, we pick up on all the flaws. And, you know, like there's one thing about patina, right? Some of the patina on vintage watches, it's very like even. You know, it's just nice, just the right amount. Then you have watches that are beat to shit.
Yeah.
And I've seen a lot of those examples and we're like, what the hell is this? What the guy's doing? Yeah, so I don't know. Generally, we don't consign a lot of vintage unless they're exceptional pieces, like color travas.
I have a theory about that. Maybe you can tell me from your experience whether, you know, there's some basis to this theory or not. I think a lot of guys, a lot of men, right?
Yeah.
Testosterone coursing through their veins and all that. They love the idea of, I beat up my watch. I wear my watch to death. You know, I don't baby it. You know, it looks better with scratches and all that. And so
every scratch is a story.
Yeah. and so they wear it almost with a subconscious willingness. They will the wear and tear.
Yeah.
You know, because it makes them feel more man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that's one part of it. And the second part of it is like, you know, since vintage took off about 10 years ago, 15 years ago, I think a lot of people have looked at patina as a good thing. And I know people who will do stuff like purposely put the watch in the sun.
Yeah, I've heard of those stories as well. They try to tropicalize it down.
Yeah, that's right. So, and I think that's what's contributing to that influx of poor condition watches that actually are clearly damaged.
Yeah.
But
like spider dials.
Yeah,
I never understood
Spider
them.
dials sucks.
Yeah, and then they try and sell it to a dealer
Yeah.
with the expectation that they will actually get more for it because it's beat up, because the patina is extreme.
Yeah. Yeah, there are some there are definitely some exceptions. I've seen some Dirty Dozen watches, tropicalization on the dial was chocolate, real full blown chocolate, and it commands like a bit of a premium. I myself, I never understood that. I don't know, you know. I think when you have the intention of like I'm gonna beat it up and then ask for more when time comes for me to sell it, I don't know. I just don't think it's the right starting point, and you will probably end up with the watch a piece of shit kind of watch in your hands, and the dealers don't not want to take it. You know,
I mean, patina has to be pleasing.
Absolutely,
at the end of the day,
aesthetic kind of thing,
it's
right?
It's not just about patina.
For sure. I think they've completely missed the point.
It's like you're saying it.
I'm saying you see a lot of these examples on Carousel.
Terrible.
No, like Nick, you know, like everybody, you know that the Santos is a scratch magnet, right, on the bezel.
Yeah.
And if you go to any Facebook page or even IG, every scratch is a memory.
Yeah.
But it looks so
They're
ugly.
proud of it.
They're proud of the scratch
of
on the
it.
Santos. I said no, it's very ugly. Stop scratching your bezel.
I mean,
seriously.
you shouldn't wear your watch with bubble wrap around it either.
Yeah.
Don't go that extreme.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
care, you know.
Yeah.
They get
It's a
one
basic
scratch
thing.
and then it's covered.
Yeah. I said, fuck it, just one scratch. I'll just make more memories.
Or you know, you go to watch meetups and then they manhandle your watch and they drop it on the table.
Yeah.
You know, they don't.
The sex pile.
You know, like if you have a watch like this, you know, which is on a bracelet, they don't like sort of make sure that they put it down without it moving.
Yeah.
They just sort of like slide it around.
Yeah.
Wow,
That's
me,
my
man.
pet peeve. That's why I bring my box. I always put it in my Pelican.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you want to handle it, put it back then, you know.
I hate when you go to ADs or when you go to boutiques and they also grab your watch and they chuck it down.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
The
Oh
one
my
that you
goodness.
wear to go.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I haven't experienced that.
I have.
highly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you see all these
But then
micro
again, I
scratches.
don't go to 80s much.
But boutiques as well. Like
Yeah.
I also don't go to boutiques much.
Have you guys heard of the story of the Loupe Patek?
No.
No? Oh my god, it predates you guys, huh?
Love
that?
Patek.
Predates.
No,
It
don't know.
makes us feel so young.
Yes. Your point being,
If you go on Instagram, go search out this hashtag, the Loupe Patek.
right?
like loved.
Loved.
Okay.
Oh, loved.
Yeah. So what happened? So the guy who shares this piece unique with me, Robert, Spanish Rob, on Instagram, he has a Patek Nautilus that he beats the shit out of it. He goes hiking with it.
Wow.
He when you look at a watch, you're like, oh my goodness, oh my god. And then when I met him at Red Bar London, I told him, Rob, you know, every time I scratch my watch, I look at your Patek and I feel a bit better.
So this is his one and only
This is-
watch. He just
yeah.
wears it
Yeah.
24/7.
The crystal is chipped.
Wow.
The crown is beat to hell, man. But there's something quite admirable about that. You know, he's not selling it; he's doing it for himself.
So he's purposely just
Not purposely, but he makes it a point to wear his watch every single time he goes to
okay.
everywhere he goes. Everything he does, he'll wear it.
Why is that?
His reasoning was, if I remember correctly, he said this is an important piece that I want it to be. I want it to be a part of my daily life for the next God knows how many years of ownership. And he made the conscious decision to just wear it everywhere he goes. It's a part of him. It's an extension of him.
and then you pass it down and it's a piece of scrap metal.
I don't know. I mean, it got stolen in the end. So
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
Someone stole it?
yeah, it garnered a bit of attention, and then I think people like, oh,
The robber probably like, shit, what did
then
I
again,
just
this
steal?
is the Loupe Patek, you know. I don't know. It's a bit of an anomaly, you know, but it's an interesting phenomenon, I would say. Like, it's
It'll be auctioned off for like huge
I'm
amounts
sure they
eventually.
would, if this was like, not like the next 50 years, right, and then people found this watch, right? they'd
He
probably
must have
auction-
been gutted when it was stolen.
Absolutely. I saw his post and I felt really sad for him when he said they were stolen.
Yeah.
but at the back of my head, I was like, who the hell wants to steal this? It's so beat up. Like, my God. Even if you try to sell it, people would know. People would know who this Nautilus belongs to, right? So
that's a good question, actually. How do you...
Yeah.
Obviously, you're selling secondhand watches.
Yeah.
How do you make sure they're not stolen?
You got to be very careful with who you deal with, I think.
Okay. So again, know the seller.
And a lot of these people are private collectors. I don't do too much of on the procurement side. It's mostly Sean. I take care of the behind the scenes. So I do see how it happens. Like, he knows a lot of these people, and generally we cycle through pieces. Sometimes the one collector will have this piece, and then we'll sell this one to him, and then he'll trade it back for something else.
Okay.
So it's like, yeah, we have that trust, you know. So they're all vetted through as well. So it's not too. I wouldn't be too concerned.
That's difficult. I mean, I have some dealer friends, and they always tell me, you know, even if you know the guy that you buy it directly from,
I'm sure
you don't know what happened before that.
Yeah.
You know, he may have innocently bought that watch. The seller may have innocently bought it, you know, 10 years ago, 5 years ago, whatever. But there's a history that nobody knows about that watch.
I'm sure it's, but again, how far can you trace back?
Exactly.
You know? I do not know.
It's impossible, I think.
So
especially vintage.
So just do as much due diligence as you can. I think there's nothing more you can do.
Yeah.
But so far, like, he's operated since 2017.
Yeah.
No major issues. So nothing similar of that, you know, has ever.
Yeah. And I'm sure he's honorable as well. I mean,
sure,
if anything were to show up as stolen, he would refund. And, you know,
Sean's that kind of guy, so I trust him.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
I always look forward to the drops. Oh, man.
Yeah.
You have no idea how stressful it is to curate a drop.
I can imagine.
Really?
I'm in the middle of last night. I was still working on the last batch. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, I mean, like,
so tired.
especially in Sean's case, each watch is worth a significant amount of money.
Yeah.
So the pressure must be great. Like, when I do a drop on my used pieces of shit on Carousel, you know, it's like when I do like drop five at a time, wow, the amount of work that goes into it, crazy. Man.
And then we do it on a level where I felt like it's been quite consistent for the past few years as well. Like, we take shots, we so pre-edit, we'll clean it up and then send it off for edit. Come back, we do another round of edit. Me, on the other hand, I have to take what we call creatives, which is, you see the flat lays. And you have to have a certain understanding of how the colors work as well.
Yeah.
So certain aesthetics, certain like typography on the material, you know, those all have to work, right? And it takes a while for me to even develop that sensibility. So that itself takes a lot of time. The descriptions also, they take a while. You have to make sure they're all correct, accurate.
The research.
And then sometimes the drop comes and it sells like that.
Yeah.
All that work.
I was like, well, I mean, that's actually good. That's good. Like, people are so convinced that they just want to buy on the spot, right? So that's the best part. You know, that's the best when you see. No, I think for me personally, the best is when Sean posts my wrist shot on the channel. I'm like, oh, and then I'll put, is this my wrist or Sean's wrist?
I saw that. I voted that it was your wrist.
Yeah, it was my wrist.
It was,
right?
Yeah.
And then my friends will ask me, so how do you tell? I say, I have a wrist bone and a certain, like, my veins are like certain pattern. Then I look at Sean, wait a minute, we have to see.
Really?
Yeah, I was like, oh wait, I can't really tell at this point, you know.
See, he is a wrist model.
Maybe that's his plan 3 years later.
Yeah.
Not good for like massive pieces though. I can only do like 36, 37, you know. But yeah, you know, that's like, you know, the interesting part of it, right? A lot of, I mean, again, back to your point, it takes a lot of work.
Yeah.
And sometimes you have to deal with the logistics of, you know, you have to wait for the boxes to arrive, you know, you're like, oh God, I need to process and check every single paperwork and then take photos of it. And then you deal with inquiries as well, you know, sometimes they'll ask and then I have to take out some time in my day to go deal with this, meet clients. And it just adds to the time that,
you have tire kickers, you have... I don't think you get scammers, but on Carousel...
we do.
You do?
Yeah, but I've learned it the hard way. I mean, I didn't get scammed, but I was very close to getting, But Sean she's quite experienced, so he'll tell me, like, look out for these signs.
He can smell them a mile away.
And they were quite funny. Like, now we look back, like, we should have just, like, for the kick of it, you know, just play around. Yeah. There was a guy who asked for like 20 watches. Can we view 20 watches? I was like, okay.
Red flag.
Red flag. Yeah. So we're like, can you fly out to Romania? I'm like, no, but you can fly here, you know. I said, but I don't know, you know. This is a funny thing to look into, you know. Yeah. So.
Yeah, nice. I always like talking to people on the dealer end. So many stories.
Yeah, a lot of hilarious. A lot of funny shit.
I'm sure you also have people who like they feign interest in a watch.
Yeah.
And then they meet up.
Yeah.
And then all they do is talk about their previous watches.
Oh yeah. And I try to.
We were just talking about that.
I have a lot like that as well. And then one of the most annoying ones were like, oh, your watch is too expensive, and then they will spend 3-4 days searching out every listing you can find on Chrono 24 that's cheaper than yours. But when you go and look at the listing, you're like, oh, this thing is pretty bad condition. It's not the desirable generation. Oh, there's no box and papers.
Just tell them to go buy that one then.
I'm like, just go buy that one then. I'm not.
I think they think that they are negotiating.
Yeah, but I'm like, no.
When we message the Instagram, is that you?
No. Sean deals with them.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to reach me, it's definitely through my number or my Instagram.
Oh.
But but go through Sean first. You know, it's easier for me.
I might have said some rude things to Sean then. Thinking that it was you.
This is your problem.
Shitty Reese.
Yeah. Oh well, you know, it is what it is. Yeah.
Cool. Can we? Sorry. Please go ahead.
I think what I want to say is like I think we can move on to
pick some watches.
Yeah, we can. We can talk about it. Yeah.
We want to hear your stories.
I brought some interesting pieces here. Some are emblematic of my time when I started. Maybe how do you want to do this? Pick something and I'll talk about it, or
pick something. You pick something that is very meaningful to you.
Meaningful. Okay.
And then we can end with maybe the tank because I
sure.
love your story for that. And
I want to hear about the engraving on the back.
Oh yeah, sure. Maybe you can start with this one. This one's a bit of a unusual watch as well. This is the King from Mr. Jones.
Mm-hmm.
I actually got this as a set. I got it from my girlfriend as well. This was we've been together for almost 5 years. When I asked her out, I got a set of the King and the Queen, and I gave her the Queen. Yeah, so I was like, okay, you know.
You're going to make us all look bad now.
This guy's got moves.
I know.
I mean, it's just a Mr. Jones. Calm down.
I hope our wife's not listening.
So what did you get for your wife, Nick? That's a very...
I'm sure it's a Cartier.
It's a very stressful laugh.
She got a Cartier.
There you go.
I bought my wife goreng pisang.
No, actually, I really got a Cartier.
Huh?
You bought your wife a Cartier as well for your anniversary?
For the anniversary,
Yeah.
We all have.
Yeah, we're all gentlemen.
Cartier is for lovers.
You see, we're not too shabby. We're not too shabby. You know?
But when I was dating her, I gave her a goreng pisang.
Yeah.
I like Mr. Jones. They got some interesting
so quirky,
designs. And affordable too.
Yeah, affordable. And these guys were one of the first brands that supported us back in, when I started the Matick blog. Mm-hmm. No one really wanted to send us anything, and these guys were like, yeah, I'll send you a set of it. Just bring it back when you can.
So you didn't buy the watch?
I bought this.
I'm just doing you.
At a reduced rate. Yeah, they gave me a deal. I'm like, oh shit, okay, here we go.
No, that's cool.
Yeah. So this was, I don't wear it as much because it's just.
Do you still do work with them?
Sorry?
You still work with the guys?
No, but I'm still close with these guys. Okay. Crispin Jones. He's, I think, the founder, right? And we do chat sometimes. I don't really wear this that often because it's just too hard to tell the time. But when I go out on dates with my girlfriend, we do wear matching watches from time to time.
Oh, so sweet.
I'm sure you guys do as well. What the hell are you talking about?
Do you?
No, I have to force my wife to wear a watch.
But Nick, you do?
Yeah, we wear the tank.
You really... I was assuming you're gonna wear the
you guys, you and LG are like...
Do we? Nah.
Cartier.
Do we wear...
Matching bracelet.
Do we wear matching... No, we don't, right?
What?
You have NSOs and you steal her guy.
Because LG always scratch my watch.
Oh my god, yeah. Actually, that's one thing I'm scared
of. My wife.
I don't lend my watches to my girlfriend. I'm scared.
Does she like watches?
Yeah, she has her own watch box. I'll give it.
My wife puts about 2 years worth of scratches on a watch in about 1 week.
That's why I only buy vintage for her because it's already scratched.
Oh, that's so smart.
That's why I bought that watch. That
just let it rip. Go for it.
Yeah, go ahead. Just scratch the shit out of it. It's all good. Yeah. So this is an interesting one. It's
what size is that? 30.
This is a 37, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
37? Yeah, okay.
It came on a Milanese bracelet, but yeah, I don't like Milanese. Yeah.
Very cool.
So from here, maybe we can go here as well. This one, I don't know if you guys seen.
Sorry,
Yeah.
1 minute. Technical change on the battery.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, since we're going to continue.
Okay.
Sure. Okay, where do
All
we
right,
go?
all good.
From the Jones to...
we can go to this one. So this is I'm sure we already know what this is. This
I
is
love
the
it.
Hoyer.
That's not only an amazing watch. It's also everybody who owns it is amazing.
Yeah, this one was.
Do you still have it?
Yes, of course. I love it.
Yeah, I love it, man.
I mean, this is very good.
Yeah, untouched. This one. I think it's I got this from a friend. I think 4 or 5 years ago, and I honestly it was one of the biggest gambles I made because I didn't have a lot of money back then. And then he was like, "Okay, just pay me back in installments." So I set up an installment plan on my bank account, and every month it would just go to him automatically.
Nice.
And I never wanted to wear it until I pay off the entire thing, and that took like 3 years. Yeah, so it was in the safe for like 3 years.
Oh, you didn't touch it?
Just
I
in
didn't
case.
touch it. Yeah, I don't know why, but it's just one of those things. Right?
Wow.
Yeah.
In your safe, right?
Yeah, my safe. Yeah,
It's like new old stock.
yeah.
Better than WK's one.
Okay.
And I love them.
Do you have your box and papers as well?
Yes.
Yeah, let's keep it, man. It's good.
It was full set.
Yeah.
Mine's full set as well.
That's quite rare to have box and papers.
Yeah.
What year?
This one is 1999, I think.
Yeah.
It's around. This is the reissue. Yeah.
What's the reissue? 35? No?
36.
36.
36,
Yeah.
but where's that at 37?
Yeah.
Which is my sweet spot.
I think it was this watch that really made me love the Carrera case so much more. It's something about the case, man. It's so iconic.
I'm really glad that they're going back.
Yeah.
Tags starting.
The glass box gorgeous.
It's angular but still curvaceous. It's weird.
Yeah. I don't know how to describe it as
Yeah.
well. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
So this was my
Almost as cool as the people who own them.
Yeah, so this was I think the first substantial purchase I made with that measly salary that I was making back then.
Wait, at which place is this?
A
now?
law firm. I'm not going to name which law firm. Yeah, so it was a bit of a gamble, but I think it paid off. Now I can truly enjoy it for what it is,
That's cool.
Yeah. So
Iconic.
Yeah. So from here, I think we can go to this one. This is a 6139. Yeah, I think Dennis has one as well, right?
Yes, I think so.
Dennis has one with the yellow seconds hand. Mine
Yours is
came
orange, is it? Yeah.
Yeah, it's orange. So I got this from a guy, local guy. He had the entire thing. I have the original bracelet, the Steelux bracelet as well, but I didn't put it on. I just kept it in a safe, seal it off because I don't want to wear it. So I put on like a generic one. This generic one actually belonged to an old 6139 that I had, a poke, and it was stolen. So for the longest time, I was searching for one that really, I really liked. Yeah.
So the poke you were wearing without the bracelet. So
I had it on the
bracelet
NATO, and then it was stolen, and then I was really upset for a good number of years, and then found one in this condition that it's not the exact same one, but it's a bit better.
This end link is fitting though.
Yeah, you can actually buy like generic ones aftermarket.
Okay,
But
like
it's,
Uncle Seiko or something.
this isn't. I don't know where I got this from, man. For some eBay, it's not the best. You can tell the stamping is all off. But yeah, I'm just beating it up, so I don't mind. But for me, it's
As long as it stays on your wrist.
Yeah, I went through a phase in my collecting. My early days of collecting that I really enjoyed sporty chronographs, funky chronographs from the 70s. That's why I really like the Autodromo Prototipo back then. It's a chunky little thing, right? And then cushion case, C case, whatever you want to call it. It's just one of those like really interesting pieces. I've seen people who collect like like the Paul Newman Rolexes and whatnot. And then I forgot who's this guy, but he drives a Ferrari and he had like a bunch of these sitting in his car. Also on days that he forgets to wear his Paul Newmans, he would just take this up and.
Really?
I was like, wow, okay, that's quite an interesting way to.
He's in the dinosaur era of Instagram.
I feel like
all the young people.
Damn it, guys! You guys don't know.
We are the amateurs
You
in
guys are-
IG.
I mean,
I'm the boomer here. Damn
the
it!
boomer, yeah.
I'm Insta boomer.
I'm
You guys are
Gen Z.
You guys are Gen
What to
Z.
do?
He's telling stories of like,
Oh
are
my
you sure it's
gosh.
happening.
Yeah, I had to like do a double take. You know, I asked myself, did that happen?
We're going to come back. We're going to circle around to that. But okay, please continue.
Yeah. I think the next one we can talk about this one. This is the Kuo. I'm sure WK already know the story. I bought this when I was traveling in Japan last year. I went to Kyoto and I absolutely loved it. My girlfriend actually we went to Kuo's retail store. I don't know if you call it retail store.
Because it's a salon.
I don't know what to call it. Showroom. Yeah, showroom. And then she absolutely fell in love with this model. She had a beige dial. Initially, I didn't want to buy it because I was like, military dial. I have my CWC. Why should I get another one? Then I realized, wait a minute, Kyoto is such a beautiful place. Maybe I could commemorate this trip with a watch, which I did. I got them to engrave a message at the back in Japanese, which translates to jump off the Kiyomizu shrine, right? Something like that, right? Because the expression originated from a period where people would jump off there's this historical place that there's a shrine, right?
Yeah.
And there's this huge wall on the side. And back then people would believe if they jump off this cliff and they land and they survive, they will have good luck for the rest of their lives. So in today's context, it translates to like to take the leap of faith. So I felt, wow, this is actually quite...
So all of the Japanese characters is your engraving.
Yeah, I got them to engraving. And I thought like, wow, that's a very interesting...
Did you think about it on the spot? Or was
My
it
girlfriend thought about that and I have her the credit for it. We got ours engraved.
Matching.
Yeah, I was like, wow.
So is this one of the watches you match when you wear?
Yeah.
When you go out?
Yeah.
They have so many couple watches. Oh my god, we got to catch up, guys.
You know what this means, right? You're never getting out of that relationship. You're done.
We'll
bro.
talk about that later.
Yeah. You're committed now.
I mean,
Which is not a bad thing.
it's okay, I'm okay with it.
I'm not saying it's a bad thing.
Yeah. No, I'm happy. Next thing was this thing that I got from Denson. Again,
Who, me?
yeah, my goodness. You know what? Like when I went to JB to visit my girlfriend's parents.
Wait, sorry.
Yeah.
I just want the opportunity to edit. Do you
I'm
want
okay,
to?
I'm okay.
You're okay.
Not a lot
Yeah?
of people watching lah.
Okay.
Right.
Really? Yeah.
Really not a lot of people watching.
Okay.
Okay. It's
Sure.
It's one of the best pieces in the inventory.
Yeah. I'll tell you my point of view. Okay.
And he didn't hesitate.
So for the longest time, right, I was talking to this guy, my first vintage BL. I did not know it was Vincent. I just had a feeling it was someone that I knew. I just did not expect it to be Vincent. So when I drove one bloody hour to go meet him at his place, where was it?
1 hour? Where were you driving from?
From
He went from the west of JB to the east of JB.
Yeah.
Oh, bro, that's nothing. I thought like you had like full commitment and dedication and drove 4.5 hours to go to my first video.
Oh, no, I won't do that.
Because the guy sitting in front of you drove 4 hours.
Oh, damn, man. Yeah. So went there and then I was like, what the hell is this place, man? What kind of place is this? It's so dodgy.
No, it's not. It's nice.
It's quite dodgy, okay?
That
It's quite dodgy
area
for KL
is nice.
standards. So I went there and then I'm like, wait a minute, why is Denson sitting in the store? Hold up. Hold up, this is Denson? I thought it was someone else, I thought it was, I'm not going to say who, but damn, man. So I went in there and then, we had a good time.
Yeah, we had a very good time. And the funny story is like when he drove from his girlfriend's place to my place, and we were talking about how can you take so long? How can you take 1 hour in such a small city? Only we found out that actually where the girlfriend stayed is where I used to stay. We were just like maybe 2 minutes walk away.
Yeah, 2 minutes.
Wow.
I was like,
A
what?
small world, very, very
What the
small
heck?
world.
Is this ceramic?
Yeah.
It is,
so
it is,
That's why I
yeah.
bought it. It's
So cool.
one of the earliest ceramic.
Earliest.
I never seen a Dolce like that. It's quite cool.
we had-
They were quite experimental in the 80s.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah.
Tungsten carbide and ceramic.
Actually, it was very stressful because I knew like, oh, Marsha is coming. I was like, oh shit, man, he's touching all this,
What the
$1
hell?
million watch, 400K, 500K watch, and he's suddenly in my store
But you're not like,
looking at $600 watch.
what? It's all cool, man.
I
I'm
gave
not
him
that
I gave him a very good discount.
So yeah, kids, you gotta know people. You It's important. It's cool.
We had a great time.
It's not what you know, it's who you know.
And who you know, absolutely. So I got this. I got another Dolce from my girlfriend as well. Hers is really cool. She has like a cabochon.
Correct.
It's so cool. I got her. So the strap that came on, we swapped it to like a green strap. Oh, it really pops.
On that, it's like a full glass down, right?
Yeah. I got it. Actually, I got it repaired as well. You saw some of the case backs they had this.
The
damage.
dent, yeah.
So I got my technician to go and brush it out, and it's new now. Like, whoa, crazy.
Yeah, this is very nice. Yeah.
This is cool. I paired it with a textured calf as well. This is not the original.
Yeah,
one.
Lovely.
Yeah,
it's very difficult to get them in black ceramic.
I've never seen it.
Yeah, I've never seen it as well.
Very good.
Yeah.
And what's the last one you got?
Yeah, this was actually this one. Wait, not sure. Yeah, can't remember.
We've done all this.
We've done with these.
We've
done
covered
with these.
These last.
So this
two.
one's a bit of it's a memory vessel for me because my history with Dietrich goes all the way back to my my days in law school, right? And I had a history with the guy. You know, he's a good friend, almost like a family friend almost. When I got called to the bar, he came all the way down to London and gave me this, and I wore this on the day I got called. So,
wow, okay.
yeah, it's again, it's really big, but it's just one of those pieces I can never part with. And this one was like a prototype dial that he never made for the public, because obviously when you experiment watches, you have a bunch of prototypes. This is one of the ones that one of the more unique ones, I would say. Yeah.
This color is quite popular now.
Yeah, it's popular. It wasn't that popular back then.
The aqua sort of color.
Yeah.
IWC.
I like the bracelet a lot.
Yeah, the bracelet is quite. So when I did the SD one, I went back to this. This is a time companion, right? I say I want to make a more nimble and flexible looking bracelet. This is, as you can see, it's quite rigid.
It's quite stiff.
Yeah, when you wear it,
better.
you can see some of the holes. It sort of overarches, right? This one, it just sits nicely and it's so bendable.
What's the difference in design that allows for the articulation?
So if you look at the back of the bracelet, it's actually a H-link. I don't know if you noticed.
Right.
People are like, how do you do this? Because it's hexagonal on the front, but on the back is a H. So it's a two-piece construction.
Okay. And
Yeah.
This one's not.
This one's not. This is like full length. You see that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's one of the things that we did. You make it more flexible. But then again, people with larger wrists, they tend to prefer this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this fits really well. For
If
a
you can
44.
This is a 43. Yeah. If you can pull it off, it looks good. Yeah. We can segue a little bit. Maybe I can tell you a little bit about that watch because I don't think we really jumped into it. Yeah. This one, right? This watch right here.
The Dietrich.
Yeah, this Dietrich SD1 is perhaps one of the most interesting concepts that I worked on. It was when we wanted to do a watch together, we didn't know where to start. And I told Emmanuel, like, this was a couple years back when skin divers were not exactly a thing yet. It started becoming like really mainstream after that for some reason. I said, I want, let's do something that's vintage inspired, but at the same time modern enough to for everyday wear. And the name of the project was called Project Equilibrium. I'll tell you why in a second, because when you look at the dial, for me, when I look at the dial, I see like the water tension on the surface. I don't know if you can see that. You see the markers floating above the dial. Yeah. The idea was that I took inspiration from my time in Thailand when I was scuba diving.
See that? Yeah.
I remembered when I was diving, I went down under the water, and then I remember looking up. I'm sure you can relate. You look up to the water surface, see the light coming through, the sunlight coming through, and then you don't hear anything, right? You just feel the water in your ears, and everything just feels very peaceful. I wanted to bring that sensation into a design like this. So another thing that really struck me was when I surfaced, there was a split second where you will come up from the water and you see the water and the air. You know that I don't know.
Half and half.
Correct. Yeah. So that was the illusion I wanted to bring to this design as well. So we added sapphire.
You need to get royalties from Amiga. I think they stole your idea. You did it so many years ago.
Oh my God! Yeah.
This is cool. I like this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very nice. I love the hands and the markers. The markers are sandwiched.
No, those were the second generation, which is the SD2 sandwich. This one's not sandwich.
Oh, this is printed.
This is, yeah.
Okay,
So we have a brass dial, a sapphire on the top, and then we printed the inverted markers beneath it. So it creates an illusion where you look from a certain angle, right? You can see the shadows of the markers on the water.
Was it a cost thing that you had to not do a sandwich this time around?
No, we just wanted something a little bit different. The sandwich one is a bit more, like its structural integrity is much more, I would say it's more solid in that sense, right? Because this is sapphire, and we realized there was a lot of issue with people, they actually wear this to the beach and then they destroy it.
Wow.
And I realized, shit, this is sapphire. You're not supposed to do that, you know. They thought this was a
why does wearing it to the beach destroy the sapphire dial? I mean, not the crystal.
No, not the dial, but the bezel and everything.
Oh, the bezel.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll say the SD2 is more solid because it's a aluminium bezel, and it's more rugged. It's my daily actually. I wear that daily. I beat that up, and it still looks good because it's not like it's sturdy enough to withstand all of that beating, right? This one's more of like a conceptual kind of thing, right? I wear this not as a tool watch. It's just like, yeah, just want to have fun and then go for an event. I'll wear this. It's an interesting conversation starter.
I like the date. I'm not a big fan of date windows usually, but that one you can't even really tell.
Yeah. So you see, like, this is one of the things, right? I know what collectors like and what they don't like. The date window is something that I really despise, especially the like awkwardly positioned ones.
Yep.
So I try to hide it at the 6. And people just didn't notice that, you know.
But like from here, the angle,
You won't
doesn't
tell.
even look
You'll
like
be able
a
to tell.
date window.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy.
And then we got the last one.
Last one would be this guy right here. This is the Cartier tank. Honestly, I'm always been a fan of Cartier, but never really got into them for some reason. Then I see you guys getting into it, and I'm like, huh.
Nick is the worst influence.
They're onto something. You know?
But Sean's also, he
yeah,
gets
yeah.
quite a few
Yeah,
pieces
I think
as well.
we get a lot of Langers
Yep.
and a lot of Cartiers.
Yep.
And a lot of these are like CP stuff, and wow, interesting, really, really cool.
A lot of Crash recently.
Just a couple. Yeah. I'm sure you saw a few, right?
I did. Very good.
NSOs. I'm not gonna say, but yeah, these are Cartier tanks as classic as it gets. Like honestly, I like the Normal more. I think it's more.
You like that
Wow.
one more?
Like
yeah,
Normal?
I like Normal. Yeah,
The
we have
modern?
The modern one?
the modern one. Yeah,
Wow.
you guys don't like it?
Okay. No.
Let's get him an allocation.
I got Alicia. But yeah,
So what's the story with this one?
I think I saw you guys were into it, and I just wanted to, you know, I think I got influenced.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah.
Is that's not the solar beat one, is it?
No, this is the quartz. I prefer the quartz one a little bit more because I have this habit of like leaving my watches in the box for like for the longest time, and I don't want the charge to lose its charge, right? If it's like a solar beat.
Right.
Okay. And you've got some engraving on the back as well.
Yeah, the back says the best is yet to come.
Which is the next watch, right? Which you're going to tell us about.
The normal.
The Normal with another
oh
special
my gosh.
engraving.
Oh man, but yeah, it's really just a reminder to myself. I've been in this for almost a decade now, right? So sometimes when I look back at my journey, I'm like, wow, it's come a long way, man, but you're nowhere near the end. So I always try to remind myself, like, yeah, whatever you do your best. At the same time, just don't forget to enjoy the fruits of your labor, you know. And this is a combination of all that.
Good message.
For me, yeah. So again, it's just one of those. It's a simple piece, but this is the watch that I reached for the most recently because it's quartz. I don't have to set the time, you know.
That's the beauty about quartz.
Yeah, and then again, it's classic, super classic.
You can't go wrong with a tank, and it's a strap monster.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely, yeah.
It's like the way Marshall talked about his watches.
Mm.
It feels that we are so young. If you notice,
God
it's
damn
like,
it.
It's like he's talking about his journey. Like
It's true,
he's
you know,
already
like,
45, he's close to retirement, but the end,
Now that
the
you
end is
mention
not
it,
there yet.
Now you mention it, what the heck, man?
Yeah,
I don't know.
I need to hang out with you more because then I feel damn young.
Oh my gosh, yeah. But yeah, so that's pretty much it. Honestly, this is the most recent and the most meaningful one so far because it really
And your
represents.
your girlfriend has matching.
Not yet.
Soon.
Soon.
The operative word being yet.
Yeah, I hope she doesn't watch this and hold it against me, you know? It's no, it's not a guaranteed thing. Okay, it's not guaranteed. Okay, okay.
We are just gonna cut this 1 minute section that we just post on the IG.
Nah, it's fine. I'm already working on getting hers as well at some point. Yeah. Maybe when I propose or something. I don't know. But
maybe she didn't say that she just wants a tang. She says she wants a tang normal.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
On a bracelet.
A bracelet.
You guys don't like it?
I like the
I
bracelet.
prefer the vintage.
The vintage one?
Yeah.
It's a bit small.
I like it. It's just so expensive.
Yeah.
Just way too expensive.
We got one in the office and I got to play it around. Got a couple actually. We got I think the platinum one as well. Oh, the beveled sapphire is quite interesting. Like, I like the size, Very pure.
Still okay.
Okay, we good?
We all good, man.
Good. Yeah. Actually, one of the things that we had originally wanted to do to start it off, because we were not sure what's your warm-up time.
Oh,
every guest has a warm-up time.
Oh, okay.
So one of the things that we wanted to do was to ask you some questions that are sort of like
rapid fire, is it?
Icebreakers.
Oh, okay.
But I felt that he was like,
he was ready,
he was
man.
ready to go, so
go
like we
anytime.
just went straight into it.
Yeah.
But maybe we can just finish off with that.
You can,
right? So yeah, Denson, you want to ask the question?
Why don't you guys go first?
Whoa.
No, okay. Okay, I think there's only really one question.
There's only one question.
There's only one question.
Okay.
Right? But you have to have 3 answers.
Okay.
Because there's 3 of us.
Sure.
So we were just curious what you thought of us before you met us, and now that you kind of know us.
So first impression, basically.
First impressions.
Because you are basically like the boomer version of like the watch enthusiast.
I'll be like, hi, these kids. Nah, I mean like, in recent years you see a lot of groups coming up and everyone's just starting their own thing. I'm quite intrigued actually, like how you guys, because for me, oh my god, I don't want to sound like a boomer. I've done it for so long.
Here we go again.
Yeah.
There's more boomers in this table than there is
God damn it.
Gen Y.
But I like what you guys are doing. It's such a interesting segment to get into, and I see the appeal. When you talk to people, you listen to what they have to say about their journey. Sometimes I feel like you can learn a thing or two. And I like the fact that you guys are doing it in such a comfortable environment. Get people to open up. Like I didn't even need warm up, as you can see. I could just jump straight into it. I felt like I've known you guys for so long.
Yeah.
Like Denson, I met him like once at the cafe.
Oh yeah.
And then the second time I met him, I was like, oh hey Denson, like what? I feel like we're old friends.
I was really thinking like shit, how he looks like. Is he handsome or what? Thankfully, I saw the handsome guy. I know.
Sorry,
oh god.
Wait a minute. Why were you even wondering about that?
Yeah. Why?
Do we need to have a quiet chat?
Yeah, so I mean, I like what you guys are doing, and I felt like you gotta keep going, because a lot of podcasts they just die off, because
we almost kind of did. I think.
Yeah, but don't do that, because you guys. I mean, he's retired, right? He has time. You can do it.
I don't know.
You have time. No, you have time. You have time.
No, I think like the main thing was like when Denson sort of became more full time in JB, then it became difficult.
Yeah. I'm sure you can find a way to make it work. Like it doesn't have to be
technology these days.
Yeah, yeah. Like when I was doing podcasting with the guys like Casey John, we were doing like Zencaster on the weekends, right? And then occasionally we'll come out and meet up. Like we don't do it anymore because Casey he's moved on to another different. He's in a different life right now. Yeah. What? I don't know. Maybe, Casey, are you having a kid or something? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah. So I mean my impressions of you guys have always been quite positive. I like the vibe that you guys give, and just felt like every time I come and hang out, it's all good vibes. Felt like I'm part of this group for a long time.
It's too polite. I don't know what he's hiding.
Once you're off the camera, once you're off the camera, like shit, these 3 people.
Oh, you guys didn't bring alcohol, so I can't really say much.
No, you should have told us earlier, right? With alcohol, you should do a night season next time. Night session.
Tequila.
But yeah,
Would you want to get back on the pod one day?
Yeah, anytime. Because I'm insane enough, right? So, like you guys said, no problem.
Yeah, I think
happy to have a chat.
I think that's a good thing, We initially, because I'll be honest, like we have watched what you have done on like James' podcast and stuff, and you were relatively more quiet on that sense. So we did a lot of back preparation to make sure you speak more.
Oh, you guys are. I should have just said like, don't worry,
Turned out it's okay.
talk sing song, no problem.
Nice, because that's all we are about.
That's all we want.
Yeah, that's the most fun, That's how you get to you understand like where this guy has come from and what he has went through when it comes to his collecting journey, So yeah.
Okay. Cool. Anything you want to know about any of us? Any questions for us?
Yeah, there's something I wanted to ask for the longest time. Like, how did you guys meet, and how did you? I mean, you guys don't have to give a long answer, but I'm just curious, how did this group come about? Because it came out of nowhere, When I first heard about you guys was, I think it was
and we're still nowhere.
Denson and I met on like a Facebook Cartier group or something, wasn't it?
No, ours was very random.
Yeah, how did everybody meet?
Basically, we were already talking on Instagram.
Yeah.
And we were already talking on Facebook.
Yes.
But the link wasn't just that. The link wasn't there.
Because my name on Facebook,
Yeah.
I didn't have my name on
Right.
Instagram.
Yeah, so we were talking like about Cartier on Instagram, and we were talking about Cartier on Facebook. Only until a few weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, we like, why not just talk on one platform? Then we found out we were talking already.
And then we met in Singapore,
Yeah, we met in
at
Singapore.
a Cartier event.
Yeah, I think that's like I think we got to give Cartier some credit because they actually flew us to Singapore just to link us up in Singapore.
Seriously?
Yeah, they flew us.
That's the first time
you
we
guys are almost friends. We'll make you proper friends.
Yeah.
We'll pay for your plane ticket.
Correct,
hotel.
correct.
What the hell?
Yeah.
What am I doing?
They booked us in like Raffles or something.
Yep.
Yeah, they booked us in Raffles.
Wow.
It was like
It's for the
3K per night.
novelties.
Yeah, they drove us, they flew us, all the
Hot
food,
damn.
everything, just for us
Okay,
to meet.
can we pretend that we want to be more friends?
I think we
and then
should.
Like,
yeah. I hope Alicia isn't watching. Wait, this was quite recent, no?
No,
2 years back.
I think
Oh, okay.
three,
Okay.
No, it must have been more than that.
3 years.
3 years, is it?
2021.
2021.
Wow. I've known you for so long.
Yeah.
Fuck.
But then I can't. How do we all connect?
Chi Hong.
Yeah.
Chi
Chi Hong was the lubricant.
Yeah, so we went for Japanese, everybody. You remember? We had
yes, yep.
Japanese. And we like,
Gardens or something.
yeah.
Ruckers, yeah.
No, because Chi Hong is very, he's very sociable, right? He's
Correct.
like a social butterfly. He talks to everybody and all that. And then he connected with me. He connected with you, but we never met.
Correct. Because Chi Hong and you knew each other for quite a period because you knew him as he was the
A
pilot.
few months lah.
Correct.
Yeah. Yeah, and then somehow he was like, "Hey, we all should get together."
But I feel that everybody initially was very cautious. Like, hey, you don't know, I don't know you, you don't know me.
Yeah,
For sure
How
lah,
are
for
you?
sure.
Are you what? Are you the type of cocky collector, or are you the type of
And I'm the random guala that's just rocking up.
Yeah. I mean, we just need you in case sometimes we need to open some doors. And
It's like, see, we're legit. We have a guilo.
If not, nobody with 30,000 followers is gonna share our podcast. That's why we have it.
well, we love you, Nick.
I know why I'm here. I know my place.
You see, these are the best kind of interactions, right? Like, I've known my friends from watches. Like, these are like my closest friends as well for like 10 years, and we were like, wait, we met 10 years ago. We've been friends for 10 years. Those are the best kind of friendships, I feel.
Yeah.
It's funny, we don't even really talk about watches anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Random stuff.
Yeah, it's just this silly little thing that really
Our wives think we just sit around talking about watches, but
Yeah.
I think the interesting thing is like I feel personally is like we have known each other like 3 years ago or 2 years ago. I feel that your age is stuck at that level. You know, like Nick, if I'm able to say your age, right?
Yeah.
Nick is 40 this year, but I still feel he's 37. Like the day I knew him,
Right.
okay.
and my kids is already 3 years old, so I feel that he's already
So WK is still 60, right?
Still 65.
he's still like.
I can't believe Dennis is my age. What the heck, man?
Dude, you're like when my understanding of his age is like 25.
Wow, okay.
I'm not sure if that's a compliment.
No, I'm pretty chill about it. Like, okay, that's
Even now, I still feel like he's 35.
actually, when I told my like Casey and John, and they were like, wait, what about that? Because they're a bit older. Like, what? You're that age? I thought you were way older. You know.
Ah, no.
Like, what? And then you're like, oh, way younger.
I think maybe
I'm very
you're
conflicted.
you're an old soul.
I am also I would say.
It's like when I see him and his girlfriend when they came, right? I was like, hey this Titi and Mei Mei. that was the feeling. That was the feeling.
What the heck?
Like you guys drink water.
Oi.
Very hot the weather today.
Do you need Ribena?
But yeah, it's
Oh,
good.
okay.
Yeah. Thanks for coming all the way
Yeah,
here
thanks,
to
man.
Thanks,
my
Martin.
place to record.
No, it's my pleasure, man. We can do a part 2 next time.
For sure.
Yes.
You do a night session with tequila, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to book an Airbnb nearby. Then. Yeah, no problem.
Thank you so much.
There's always the
Thanks,
couch.
man.